which we are expecting. So it'll be a few minutes, I guess, until somebody should hopefully arrive. Okay, I'd like to welcome you all here today. My name is Commissioner Vice Chair Peterson. I'm filling in for Chairman Faust. I would like to call this meeting to order at 6:01 p.m. Madam Clerk, would you please call roll?
Commissioner Gidroyce?
Here.
Commissioner Metoyer is absent. Commissioner Tremblay? Here. Vice Chair Peterson?
Here.
And Chair Faust is absent.
Okay, I would like to call on Mr. Chris Kalani to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay, are there any other modifications to the agenda today?
There are none.
Okay, let's see here. For item 5.1, where are we? Are we there yet? No, not yet. Okay, so item 5.1, could Community Services Coordinator Aisha Jamat Wilson please present?
Vice Chair, I'm so sorry. Can we please do agenda approval?
Okay, so there's one set of minutes for the commissioner's approval, or for the commission's approval. Does the commission have any modifications to the previous meeting's minutes?
No.
Okay. Could I ask the commission for an all in favor to approve the minutes from February 5th, 2026?
So approved.
All right, minutes are approved. Okay. Now, if I may call on Aisha. Thank you.
Hello, good evening, Commissioners. As you mentioned, my name is Aisha Jamat Wilson, Community Services Coordinator, and I'm here to provide you an update with our existing MOUs in the Community Services Department. So currently, the Community Services Department has MOUs with 4 organizations. These agreements are formalized partnerships that are mutually beneficial to both the city and the organization. Our first MOU we entered was in July 2024 with Art Council Menifee. We currently collaborate with them to organize an annual cultural arts calendar, events calendar. We collaborate with them with grant opportunities, and they actually judge our May art affair for our high school showcase event. They participate and support our cultural arts events. That includes art affair, multicultural festival, Shakespeare in the Park, and Day of the Dead. The city also provides a space for them to host their annual fundraising event. In March 2025, we went into the MOU with Lake Menifee Women's Club. We collaborate with them to host annual Independence Day Parade or Independence Day celebration. They coordinate the food and merchant vendors, the parade judging, and photo opportunity areas. They also sponsor the Teen Awards program, which provide over $1,600 in awards. 9 seasonal winners are awarded $900 or $100 each. The runner-up of Teen of the Year is awarded $250, and the Teen of the Year receives $500. The City of Menifee provides the facility to host their monthly meetings. In August of 2025, we went into our formal agreement with Menifee Valley Historical Association. We collaborate with them with grant opportunities, and we support and collaborate with them in hosting annual events to increase awareness of historical monuments and the historical museum. We also host information, or they also host information booths at City of Menifee special events. And they provide 2 historical presentations at the youth programs. The City of Menifee also promotes the Menifee Valley Historical Association through various media avenues. So they also post flyers at the facilities. They're highlighted in Menifee TV and CSD electronic board right at the corner of Evans and Newport Road. And our last partner that we've recently collaborated with is the VFW Post 1956, and we entered our MOU with them in September of 2025. They're one of our veterans group that we really work with to gain speakers for the events, as well as vendors and additional volunteers at our Veterans event. They participate in our Memorial Veterans Day event, Welcome Home Vietnam Veterans event, and any of other veterans-related activities or presentations. They also provide a float or display at the Independence Celebration Parade, and they also allow us to attend our meetings. We have a liaison, so we are able to provide information to the veteran community. We also provide a facility for the VFW to host any events anytime throughout the year, up to 10 hours. These partnerships have helped expand and enhance the city's program and events. This concludes my presentation, and then I would be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you for that. I'm curious, how long did these MOUs last?
They will vary. Some of them are a few years long. It just depends on the organization.
All right. Commissioners, do we have any questions or?
Are there any other organizations in the wings?
At this, I'm not aware of. I'm going to defer to Gabby or Mariana.
We do have several MOUs that are in the works. Those are a little bit more related to our event space at Central Park, some of our upcoming special events. We're also working with MUSD to expand our shared programming as well.
Okay, do we have any more questions, comments? All right.
All right. And then I just want to kind of go back to the question that you had. Our MOUs are 3 years long. So, all right.
Perfect, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Madam Clerk, are there any requests to speak on non-agenda items?
I have no requests to speak.
No requests? All right. Moving on. Okay, let me find my spot here. Okay, so we're now on the consent calendar. All matters of the consent calendar are to be approved in one motion unless a commissioner requests a separate action on a specific item from the consent calendar. If an item is removed from the consent calendar, it will be discussed individually and acted upon separately. Madam Clerk, are there any requests to speak on consent calendar items?
There are none.
Okay. Let's see here. Can I get a motion and a second to approve the consent calendar?
I'll motion.
Second.
Thank you very much. Okay, let's see here. Where are we? Okay, moving on to section 9.1. All right. What's that? 8.2? No. Consent calendar. Okay, so item 9.1, could Senior Management Analyst Corey Jones please introduce the item?
Good evening, Commission. Good to be back here to present an update on a really exciting project coming to the Quail Valley area. The Quail Valley Nature Park will be the first city-maintained park in Quail Valley. It will be roughly 11 acres, actually, sorry. It'll be roughly 11 acres of space for the community to enjoy. The land was transferred officially to city ownership in May of 2025 from the Canyon Heights HOA community. Current funding available for the project is $750,000 allocated in the city's capital improvement program budget, as well as a $750,000 matching grant, federal pass-through grant through the Outdoor Legacy Recreation Program. So the amenities featured at this park will be nature-themed amenities. We'll have some interactive play trails, gathering spaces, an open field, as well as a parking lot. We held a really successful public outreach campaign back in October of 2025, where we rolled out with our consultant an online survey, as well as hosting a community meeting in the Quail Valley area. And so we were able to get a lot of feedback from residents on what they would like to see for the look and feel of different amenities. So with that, the project page for this capital project updates will continue to be posted on that, and all those project pages can be found on cityofmenifee.us/park projects, and you would just click on Quail Valley Nature Park. So as we move further through the design and construction, we'll continue to update that project page for public information. And with that, we have our design consultant here with us tonight, Insight Landscape Architecture, project manager Alex Kouzikis. I think I said that right. And we're really excited to be working with Insight. They specialize in these types of nature-based park projects. If you've ever visited the Santa Rosa Plateau Visitor Center, their firm actually worked heavily in the redesign of that, which is a really cool space. So we're really happy with where the design is. And Alex, I'll turn it over to you to discuss that a little bit more in detail.
All right, thank you, Corey. Good evening. My name is Alex Kouzikis. I'm a licensed landscape architect with Insight Landscape Architecture, and I've been the project manager for the Quail Valley Nature Park. And I've been working closely with Tim Jakluski, who's our principal in charge, along with other staff members on this project. And then we also have Rick Engineering, who's providing civil engineering services. So we were brought on by the city. Let me flip this slide also. Yeah. So we were brought on by the city back in July 2025. And I'll be giving you an overview of the design process and kind of walk you through the final design that we've developed. So as Corey mentioned, there is a grant, and the project has funding to construct the park. And we've been designing the park to meet all the requirements of the grant, which include these bullet points here, which is walking and nature trails, nature-based play, interactive activities like interpretive signage, outdoor fitness equipment, gathering spaces with shade shelters, multi-use lawn, field, and a gravel parking lot. And as you can see, these are more passive uses, not as much active oriented uses. And then as Corey kind of mentioned, we conducted community outreach starting September 25. So we released the online survey and we ran that for a month. And then the city held an in-person community workshop at Quail Valley Elementary. Here's some photos from the in-person workshop. And then here's some of the examples of the results, the online survey results, which can be viewed online as well. And kind of what we found out from the community outreach is that community members really appreciated the small town rural atmosphere of Quail Valley. There's a strong desire to experience nature and open space at the park. Walking trails were a big priority. We also heard a lot of requests for shade trees. And then we also heard a lot about restrooms was a big priority. And as far as site analysis, so we analyzed the physical site to develop our design. Here's the satellite imagery with a topographic survey, which is the project site. We looked at the water flows. So we have a Riverside County flood control channel to the south, which ultimately flows into Canyon Lake. And then we have there's a 100-year floodplain, which is that blue zone, which kind of encroaches into our site. A unique aspect of the site is that it is bisected by this coyote brush scrub riparian habitat, which is regulated by California Department of Fish and Wildlife. So we'll carefully avoid that area in our design. And then there's also some water flows that runs through our site, and we're having our civil engineering team kind of work out the drainage design. There's also some steep slopes. We're successful in maintaining all ADA accessible pathways throughout the site. And then there's also an existing maintenance access road with easement that we'll avoid, but our park can kind of use that to as circulation. And then also the site has a lot of invasive species. The most notable would be tamarisk, which is just all throughout there. And we're calling for removal of all these plants, including within the protected zone. And we also have adjacent residences on 3 sides. We are doing our best to keep all the more active amenities located further away from the residents. And we're also providing screening with trees and plants as much as possible. In addition, we're designing the park to be compliant with all the current fire regulations. And the shape of the park and all the adjacent streets we're able to have all these different connections to the surrounding neighborhoods. And then, so here's our final design. So to walk you through it, if you're visiting the park in a car, you would access it at Newport Drive to the west, which is to the planned left. And that's where we have a gravel parking lot and portable restrooms and accessible parking stalls. And then over at the opposite end of the park at the east side is we have a multi-use lawn with a large overhead structure and gathering spaces. And that's where we'd also have a restroom on that side as well. And we also have a drinking fountain there. As I mentioned earlier, the whole park has ADA accessible walking trails. And then also we have throughout the trail network, we have little breakout zones with smaller gathering spaces that include like nature-based play equipment. And as you can see, the design avoids the coyote brush scrub riparian zone by connecting up to Newport Drive and then kind of reconnecting back into the site. All planting would be locally native species. We're proposing a hydroseed mix along with container stock plants, trees and shrubs. And then here's some 3D renderings that we've developed. So this is the proposed parking lot. As I mentioned, it's gravel. You can see that there we have the ADA parking stalls and the portable restroom. This is the trailhead with signage. These are examples of some of the nature-based play equipment that we're proposing. So this is manufactured concrete, like log product that is rated for play. And these play areas would have the wood fiber surfacing surrounding them that is considered ADA accessible and has the fall protection. And then throughout, we have boulders for seating and just for aesthetics to maintain that natural look. Here's an aerial view of the multi-use lawn area. You can see the shade structure, and then you can see the different kind of nature-based play areas scattered throughout the park. Here's a view of the shade structure. We've incorporated boulder benches at this area, which could be used for performances, educational talks, or other kind of gatherings that the city may host. And then in the background, this is where we'd locate the drinking fountain, and we would have trash receptacles throughout the park at key areas. Here's another view of the walking trail with the nature play area to the left. As you can see, we're proposing a ton of trees for shade. And they'd all be native oaks and sycamores with some other species like elderberries. Here's another aerial view of the trails and multi-use lawn. And then here's some more views of the play equipment or the nature-based equipment. You can see we have natural boulders which we're using as benches throughout. And also in the background of this slide, you can see we have the exercise station to the right. So this is the final slide. So yeah, we really enjoyed designing this project. We think we nailed all the requests from the community. And as far as the status of design, we've submitted 30% plans to the city, and we are currently working on 60% CDs. So this will conclude my presentation, and I'm available for any questions.
Okay. Does the commission have any questions? Go ahead.
I was just curious, how long does it take to get from the parking lot to the green space where you have the fixtures and the seating?
It is a good hike, a good little walk, but I think the goal of the city was to get people out walking. So if you do want to walk to that lawn area, it's a little bit of a walk. That's why we have the drinking fountain out there.
Oh, but we don't have an actual distance? Is it a quarter mile, a mile?
I think it's about a quarter mile or so.
Okay, and then as far as the fixtures in the park go, because I think it looks really cool. I like how it blends in with everything. Are they sensitive to heat? Because I know a lot of our parks, they have the coverings over the play areas, but it doesn't look like this one will have that, right?
Yeah, there's not there. I don't know if there was the budget for shade structures over all those amenities. So we've strategically located trees that will offer shade, and then also the material, the wood fiber surfacing, is known to be cooler than a lot of playgrounds will use the rubberized surfacing, which gets way hotter.
Yeah, so the city's incorporating a lot of more trees and everything that's in there for it to be more nature-based, and that's going to create that shade instead of the cloth of the shade sails that were going to be there. We're also, with fire and everything, a lot of the new codes, state codes, our county and everything that's there, there's certain things we can and can't do that we do at other parks, but this is a high fire area that's there. So look, adding trees instead of the shade sails and things like that, that's what we're kind of not battling, but we're working through that to be able to do that. But our goal is to be able to get as much shade as we can on that but naturally with it, because it is a nature park.
No, you've addressed it nicely. The seasons do change. It can be very, very hot. It can also be cold and rainy, so we provided for those things.
Correct, yes. And there's actually different species of trees that we're even allowed to put in there. Certain ones aren't allowed to be per the fire. Certain ones that normally are together, we have to either separate or put in different locations. So some of the species that we actually choose and put at our regular parks, or we would want to put even in a nature park, are some of the species that we would want to put in this nature park. We're not allowed; they're a fire hazard. So we're working with that to be able to put those trees. But yes, there will be evergreens. There's going to be ones that are deciduous, but we're definitely working through that.
Okay. What about the animals that are there now? Are they going to be affected in a positive way?
It would still be, it would be more of a positive way. Right now, it's kind of just a overgrown habitat that's in a lot of there's a lot of foxtails and weeds and things like that. So we're giving we're giving them a passive way through there. So it's definitely a good environment for them, especially with the trees. Adding a lot more trees and everything in there for the birds, things like that will definitely be a better habitat for them there.
Okay, that's good. Two other thoughts.
And then there is the riparian area that we won't be touching, so that'll be that natural habitat that's there, and then they go down into the flood channel and everything that's there. Goes back into closer to Canyon Lake and then the BLM land. That's obviously a couple miles from there, but that works its way back to the natural habitat.
That is the 100-year flood zone?
Correct.
So that's not influenced by all this development and change, right?
Correct. That area will not.
There.
Yeah, that's not going to change. That's in there that's permanent.
That's just the landscape period.
Correct.
Okay. And then one other last question. I'm thinking groups of people may want to come to visit. And have we made a provision? I didn't see anything in the parking lot, which made me wonder how they would handle it.
I just wanted to make a note, because this project is mostly funded by the federal grant, we were required to not only meet the standards of CEQA, but also NEPA review and cultural sensitivity review. So there's a lot of environmental assessments that's already been done to ensure that we're not negatively impacting the area during construction and, once the park is built.
Actually, you raise an interesting point. I know that sometimes building new houses around here, they've found cultural things buried. And those cannot be touched with unless there's an archaeologist involved?
Right. So
So-
we've had the paleontology and archaeological review was required before we were even able to go to design.
Okay, so we're good to go.
Yeah.
All
should be.
right, thank you. That's it for me.
I've got a question about the sign, what is it called? The monument sign. Is it possible for that to be located, I guess, a little bit more central to where people will be moving in, like towards maybe where number 4 is on the, if we could bring up the map, please. Yeah, just where number 4 is. Only because over there to the side, it seems like it's a little bit kind of off the, off the path. But I was just
Does that view help?
Let's see.
Where you
So I guess currently it would be right there in the middle area, if I'm,
As you drive in, you'll see it right there.
okay, so the purpose is for when you're driving in.
Yeah,
Got it.
that sign would be for vehicular traffic, and so you know where the trailhead is.
Okay, understood.
That's what our thinking was.
Okay, all right.
And there will be interpretive signage and everything that working through there, and that's something we could even do in the future, add different signage if we, as you're able to come into the park, as we start using more interp programs there and everything, we could always add things in the future, but there will be the interp signage that will go in different areas as well. So as you can see on this right here, there could be the interp signage as soon as you walk into, not where the trailhead is, but if you were entering the eastern part of that parking lot going into the park, there's going to be different kind of signage in there.
Okay, great. Mariana?
Ma'am, after the discussion, if you would like to approach the podium to make a public comment, you can do that, and you can ask questions. However, the commission is not able to answer your questions from the dais. Yes, please. And you can go ahead and give that to me, and then you have 3 minutes to make your public comment.
Thank you.
And just to clarify, will there be maps posted so people are aware of like where they're walking to? Because I wasn't sure if it was very
Yes.
clear on here.
Yeah, we're doing that at our current larger parks, but we will definitely have that here, yes.
So I have a question about the protected areas. What is the specific reason why those are protected or marked as protected?
The city had a biologist report completed, and it was delineated as the Baccharis scrub riparian habitat, I believe, because of the plants that were there. And I think it already mapped out by California Department of Fish and Wildlife?
Yes, it was.
Okay.
Yeah, so when this was a park, there's a good section of that was already a park, but this was added in that was done in the creation of the development that was there. So that's been called out, and that's why there's signage there for their fish and game and everything.
And regarding the interpretive signs, do we have content essentially that we're thinking of putting, or is that to be determined at this point?
Right now, we've just been thinking about it since we're at 30%, but we have some ideas. Yeah.
Okay. One thing I might want to just toss out there,
Yeah.
essentially like the land that was in Quail Valley was previously, I believe it was a country club. Is that correct?
Yes, you mean, when it was originally constructed?
Oh, okay. So the actual park was the country club.
No, I don't know that. I was just asking, I was asking you if you're talking about when Quail Valley started, what was that, in the 40s and 50s? Is that what you're talking about?
Right.
Yeah, I don't know where that was. I can find that information out of where the country club was, but I don't know if this was the exact location of that.
Okay, well, some of that stuff might be really cool to have up there on the interpretive signs, just so that, because for me personally, I really don't have a handle on, you know, I'm obviously, I know there's residential housing up there and, you know, it's kind of a rural area, but prior to that, it'd be really cool to know, you know, what was Quail Valley before the people moved in. And
Yeah, that's a good idea. We are aware of the history as it was like a hunting club and a country club. So yeah, we're
Okay.
aware of that, and that is a good idea for signage. I'll write that down.
Good deal. And then I have one more thing I wanted to ask. So regarding the maintenance path, is there a reason why that one is paved versus the others that are the decomposed granite?
It's existing asphalt
Got it.
paved path. So and it's not ours to. There's an easement, so we're not touching it.
Oh, so that's already there. It's ready to go.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
And-
there. That's currently there, and that's county flood control that's able to access that. That's the easement they have to be able to get down into that wash.
Okay, cool. Appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
We're
thank
just
you.
interpreting. We're just using what's already there. You know, it'll help with that. So.
Good deal.
All right.
Do we have any other questions, comments? Okay, appreciate the presentation.
All right. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you. All right, and Madam Clerk, do we have any requests to speak on this matter?
We do have one, and right before I call you up to the podium, I just want to apologize and state that the script that you have states that the 4 discussion items that we have tonight are receive and file items. However, none of them are receive and file items. We do, staff is asking for the commission to provide feedback on these items. So if you don't mind, I may just interject to help you with the script tonight since it's incorrect. So I
appreciate
do
that.
apologize. Okay, now we have Miss Janine Ivanelli. If you'd like to approach the podium.
Hi, that sounds great, that park idea. And I was just going to comment that to put a bike rack near the cars so that we have a place to bike. If we bike there, we can have a place to park the bicycles and lock them, you know, some metal or some kind of a bicycle rack. And also, I don't know about the concrete or rock seating area on the 100-degree days. I'm wondering if wood would be better. That's just my suggestion.
Thank you. Okay, do we have any other requests to speak?
We do not. So now would be the time for the commission to discuss and provide feedback to staff.
Okay. Do we have any discussions? Let's see here. I mean, really, it looks good. I'd have to say, I mean, looking at the 3D renderings, you know, it'd be nice if it was there right now. So it'll be a nice park for the community there, and if there's nothing further to discuss.
I guess my main feedback, just understanding the weather out here, I'm just concerned given that it's more of like a nature, hiking, walking, and it looks like it's a decent distance from like the main area from where you park, is possibly more than 2 water stations. That would probably be my main feedback, just understanding how warm it gets, and you may, you know, walk and get halfway, and it's going to be a distance before you get to the next station, maybe problematic, and a safety issue with the heat. So that would just be the main thing that stood out to me.
Kind of piggyback on that, maybe water at the parking lot and a sign that says, make sure you're hydrated, bring water with you on the trail.
Yeah, no, I agree, because I think the main concern, especially even looking at the aesthetic of the park, is just like the heat and heat exhaustion, so just safety.
Especially considering we have summer in February now. But actually, now that you bring up water, is there a reason why we don't have trails down near where I mean, I can't tell if it's a creek or if, you know, what it is, but down near the water? Is there?
That's Riverside County Flood Control, so we don't own that land.
Okay, so that's
Correct.
off.
Yeah.
Got
It's
it.
fenced off currently, and yeah, we want to stay out of there, obviously, with the habitat, but that's for the flood control.
Got it. Thank you.
No, but I think it looks great. And then even looking at the wildlife event, I'm like, oh, that would be a perfect place to have it at. But no, I'm excited about it.
Yeah, it looks really good, so. Do we have any other questions or comments, discussion items? Okay. All right, so moving on to item 9.2. Could Senior Management Analyst Corey Jones please introduce the item for us?
Hello. So I'm here to provide an annual update on the Parks Master Plan. So a lot of activity since the last update to Commission with Community Services progress on meeting some of the goals and objectives of our Parks Master Plan. Just a high-level overview of how our park system has grown. When the first Parks Master Plan was adopted in 2016, we had roughly, thank you, I always forget, 8 city parks and a population of around 90,000 residents. Today, we're looking to grow to 24 parks and over 130,000 residents. So our park system has more than doubled, and the programs that we now provide to the community have also grown tremendously, and we're always looking at ways to improve and refine some of our existing community offerings. So again, the Parks Master Plan was adopted in 2016, and it was updated with the help of this commission. And 2023. A full copy of this document is available at cityofmenifee.us/Parks Master Plan. The Parks Master Plan is a guide for allocation of resources within the Community Services Department to meet specific goals. And the goals set forth in the 2023 update focused on facilities and amenities, programs and services, administrative components, financial, how to fund projects, and how to best use financial resources to provide services to the community. We also looked at some goals for our trails, as well as placemaking and technology. So as I mentioned, it's been a really busy year since the last update. I don't plan to go over everything on the slide, but I will point out some notable things. Community Services actually celebrated its 10th anniversary as a city department, which is really cool. We now provide over 800 programs, 83 special events, while maintaining 22 city parks and 14 public facilities. There was also a couple of new committees created, one of which focuses on services for our resident veterans and family of veterans. So the VMFAC committee, which meets every third Monday of the month. We also extended our agreement for our aquatics program with Paris Union High School through 2031. The rollout of that program continues to be successful and get a lot of participation, and so we're really glad that we have a good partnership with the high school to utilize their facility. Okay, and then just last on this list, we were awarded $100,000 to start the process of rehabbing the roof at the KC Senior Center, which is a pretty old facility, so we're happy that we can make that update. Some other accomplishments. The community garden reopened to the community, and it's pretty busy. And I know because it's right outside my office, so they definitely get good attendance in the community garden now, and they've had several community events there that have gone well. We also were excited to launch our new online registration software. I'm not sure if anyone of you have been able to create accounts, but our new software, RecTech, should have more functionality, a little easier to use, and we also have an instant booking feature, which is really nice for our picnic shelters. There's also lighting added at the popular Gale Webb Gale Webb Kids Are Number One Action Sports Park. And also, as mentioned, we have the we acquired and took over ownership of two parcels of land to be the future Sun City Green Space Park and the Quail Valley Nature Park, which we're working on developing currently, as well as 400 acres of open space at Menifee Hills. Okay, so looking ahead, we have a lot more projects in the queue that and initiatives that we look forward to working on over this next coming year. One of which we will start working on revamping our landscape design standards, which is a pretty outdated document, to ensure that we can update it to the city's current standards as well as some county and state requirements. And then we're also focusing heavily on strategic partnerships and programs for the community, for the Central Park Amphitheater and Civic Plaza area. We also are working to install sports lights at Hidden Hills Park and E.L. Peterson. Bryce can speak a little more on that project. I believe it's in design. And then lastly, I'll point out that we are currently, the request for proposals is currently open to obtain consultant services to help us with the application to LAFCO for annexation of, partial annexation of valley-wide parks that are within city boundaries. And that's my update.
Commission, do we have any questions for Ms. Jones?
Changing design standards. What would be an example? What would the before and after? If there's such a way to explain it.
I'll defer to Bryce. That's more his.
So as things, so it could be from irrigation material changes to actually plant material and tree species that we're going to be using. So we want to be able to use this internally, but it's also for our development team to give to new developments for parks, your regular shopping centers, things like that. But we'll also be able to use it to teach shopping centers the correct way to get their trees trimmed, the correct way to that. So it's a wide variety of things. So over the years, as we started using more recycled water, there's different plant species that we maybe now we don't use anymore, or it's went from a drip irrigation to a spray irrigation. So those species don't do as well on a drip irrigation as it did on a spray irrigation. So we removed some of the plant material from there. So it's just changes in designs of that way. As things have gotten better with irrigation, over the years. So it's just standards of that we can use to develop our parks, and everybody's using the same standards, so we know everything's kind of uniform.
Learning from experience.
Learning from experience, just learning as things have gotten better. There's been a lot of plant material that did grow here for a long time, but now that there's a lot of water conservation that's on there that we've turned to drip irrigation. It doesn't do as well on that, so we've removed that from our plant palette as well.
Then would this also require going back to things which go back in time and revamping them?
Oh, do you mean like to
irrigation?
renovate like old things? So we'll definitely be looking at those. That will be at capital improvement projects in the future. We definitely want to do that. Looking at old outdated irrigation systems and stuff. We're definitely looking into that. It will in the future, won't be just an immediate thing, but that's definitely something we'll be looking
Bring
into.
it all back to that standard.
Correct, yes.
Oh, great, thank you.
Yep, absolutely.
I have a question about the RecTech software. Is that mainly for like essentially the picnic areas, the pavilions, renting it for a birthday party and things like that?
So we moved from DaySmart recreation software to RecTech, so it's a way to register for all of our programs and activities and book facilities. The QuickBook, I think it's called, it's just for the picnic shelters, which is like an instant book feature.
Correct. For that Instabook feature, it's for our picnic shelters where it's just a straightforward reservation. There's no additional vendors or jumpers or anything that ties to it. So it's a very quick way for the public to go on, enter their information, and immediately book the shelter without having to wait for the application to be fully processed.
Okay, cool. And then that also would be for like our community services programs and things like that as well?
Correct. So it includes all of our registration for all of our activities, programs, and events.
All right, sounds good, thank you. Do we have any other questions? Good.
Do we appear to be on track with, like, what the expectations are? Because I know this is kind of like an annual review, but I'm not sure if we had specific goals set for specific years and where we fall within that.
Yeah, we did have a number of recommendations that were provided as a part of the Parks Master Plan update. I believe we're on track. We're trending in time. Of course, there's much larger projects that are in the longer range that were also a part of that. But again, kind of looking at this as a layered process because we have our Parks Master Plan, we have the City General Plan, we have the newly finished Tourism and Placemaking Master Plan. So trying to balance all that as well as the City Council Strategic Plan to make sure that we're organizing our work and resources in a way that meets the highest priorities that were identified in each of these areas. So lots of balancing, but we are definitely trending in the right direction and completing a number of the recommendations.
Thank you.
Okay, do we have anything else from the commission? Okay, Madam Clerk, do we have any requests to speak on this matter?
We do not, so this is the opportunity for the commission to discuss and provide feedback.
Okay. I guess one thing that I would like to kind of see as far as the master plan goes, we're currently at, or our target is what, 5 acres per 1,000 residents? Is that, of
Yes.
open space?
Yeah, parkland.
Okay.
Parkland. Mhm.
What does it take for us to increase that to, let's say, 7.5? I know we're at like, what, 2.5 right now?
Yes,
About?
that would be an update to our Menifee Municipal Code. So that is an ordinance in our development code. I do know that there is a future agenda item requested from City Council to want to review specifically Quimby because of parkland dedication and wanting to see more parkland in and around Menifee. So that is an item that City Council is looking to address in the future.
Wonderful, thank you.
We've been behind since the get-go.
Yeah.
So who do we need to talk to about this? Our respective council members?
Yes, you're welcome to speak to your
Of
respective
course,
council member.
Push it along.
Thank you. Do we have anything else from the commission?
Would the updates to the master plan be posted on the internet, on our city webpage?
I don't believe that they are currently posted, but it's definitely something we can do as far as an update.
Just a thought. Thank
Yes.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do we have any other comments or anything else that we'd like to discuss on this matter? Good. Okay. Moving on to item 9.3. Let's see, could Community Services Director Mariana Mitchell please present the item?
All right, fiscal year 2025-2027 mid-cycle budget update. So I'm going to give a brief overview of our the way the city currently does its budget processes. This budget cycle is a biennial budget, meaning that it encompasses 2 whole fiscal years, spanning from fiscal year 2025, 2026, and moving into 2026, 2027. So with that in mind, there are periods in which staff and city council can look at fine-tuning the adopted budget to address urgent issues or concerns or items that are specifically dedicated towards helping city council and us as an organization reach the goals that have been set through the various master plans. Just so that there's an awareness of the way the budget cycle, things that we do look at as a part of the process are things like revenue analysis, wanting to make sure that we're meeting our target revenue goals. This commission's had conversations about adjustments to user fees. So those are things that will also be taken into consideration, mostly focusing on personnel operating and throughout the different funds that pretty much gives us the opportunity to provide services to our residents. So with that in mind, we wanted to be able to kind of talk through what this mid-cycle budget update looks like. So again, that we're in our second year, first year. Yeah, we're going into our second year, that we're finishing up our first year, going into our second year of the biennial budget. So meaning that the conversation we're having today is to kind of take a look at what we're currently at and what are some potential priorities that we might be looking to address in the next year, in the final year of this biennial budget. So again, the budget was adopted in year 1 in June. We had some mid-year adjustments, which we talked about at the last meeting, to address some of those items that council had directed us to look at, like the LAFCO application and some of the additional adjustments to our CIP. And now we're looking at mid-cycle. So what in between year 1 and year 2, what are the type of things that we may need to right size in order to continue moving forward and meeting the goals of the department and city council? So with that, there are a number of workshops that are going to be taking place that are open to the public, and we invite everybody who's interested to learn more about the budgetary process and to provide feedback and input to City Council. So the first 2 coming up are going to be CIP workshops, so Capital Improvement Program community workshops, just kind of reviewing what our current capital improvement program consists of, the current budgeting, what some of our major projects are moving forward, and capital improvement encompasses a lot. It's not just, our parks and, what for our department, but for Public Works, we're talking about street resurfacing, we're building bridges, we're, doing overpasses, things of that nature. So it's much more infrastructure heavy, things like street lighting and, drainage, addressing like all of the infrastructure items. So again, there's a significant number of priorities. There's a lot of things that need to get done, but really kind of focusing on what we can accomplish within the budget constraints that we currently have. So the first 2 are focused on CIP. And then with the main budget workshop taking place in May, which again is kind of an overview of our current budget, what the revenues are, and if there's any additional revenues that are above and beyond our original projections, where those revenues might be allocated to. And then the council will adopt the mid-cycle budget for any adjustments or any changes on June 3rd, 2026. So in the staff report, we did provide a more detailed information on what our community services general fund budget it currently kind of sits at, with a great number of it being kind of in our administrative division, and that's mostly because that's where all of our personnel sits. That includes our part-time personnel and our full-time personnel that are paid out of that are funded through the general fund. And then we have our operating, which is our supplies and equipment, our services like contract services, things of that nature. And then our interfund services, which are the facilities, fleet, and information technology items. So overall, the Community Services Department has a budget of just over $6.5 million, and this is our general fund operating budget. And the reason I want to make the distinction of that is that general fund is essentially money that doesn't have as many ties to where it can be spent. It's kind of money that's brought in through sales tax revenue, through property tax revenue, that isn't tied because it's not specific to something like our special districts. So we know that our city parks, our right-of-way landscaping, those are all funded, the majority of them are funded through special districts, things like community facilities districts, which are tax initiatives that are set up to be assessed on somebody's property tax that essentially pays for the maintenance of those items as a part of that CFD. So that is completely separate than what we have before you today, which is our general fund, which again, we have more capacity to kind of move and address within our program area to meet the needs of our residents and our programs. So just want to make that distinction because again, the general fund is what we essentially do have the ability to make adjustments to. So in looking at the upcoming mid-cycle budget update, we do have a couple things that we are looking at either right-sizing within the current existing budget or potentially asking for additional funding from council to address, just dependent upon what those revenues look like. And so the initial feedback that we received from our finance department is that revenues are relatively flat. So this may not be the opportunity that we're looking for to add any new or additional programming or personnel. However, if there's opportunities for one-time initiatives that aren't ongoing expenditures, that those are things that may be considered first. So things like the Central Park Amphitheater and the Civic Plaza. As you know, we just installed the city's first Christmas tree. We've got a clock tower, a clock that's out there. I was going to say tower because it's towering. It's a rather large clock that was donated by the Rotary of Menifee. And so we're really looking at activating Central Park, not just when the amphitheater opens up, but also now that we have the parking lot and we have the reciprocal agreement with the Justice Center to utilize their parking area. And once the Paloma Wash Bridge is up and running, the pedestrian bridge, being able to utilize that in ways that can activate more of that Central Park Center, giving people a place to gather and participate in additional activities. Bryson mentioned the landscape design standard updates. That's something that we're going to move forward with. We've got a couple of other items that were also state initiatives, things that we're still looking at. I don't want to say right-sizing because it's something we have to do anyways, but it's SB 1383, the recycling of organics, and some of those components that are now coming into play. That's going to require the city to make a larger investment in some of the requirements that CalRecycle is placing on local jurisdictions. And then also looking at our future CIP projects. We were at a place where we know we have two rather large projects that we want to see get completed relatively soon, and that's the Sun City Green Space and the Quail Valley Nature Center, which you just saw a preview of the conceptual plan or the construction documents. And so what we're looking to do is take a look at what our fund balances are for our development impact fees, our QIMBY fees, to see how much of that can we put towards completing these projects. Because one thing that we can never underestimate is how much construction costs. And so in anticipation of not having the full funding available to complete these two projects, we're kind of holding off on adding any major CIP projects to our list so that we have the funding available to finish those. We really want to finish finish what we started with those two projects, especially because those are both areas that are underserved in our park system without having any parkland in those areas. And so I think that's the majority of the areas that we're kind of concentrating on, with the understanding that at mid-cycle, there's not a whole lot of wiggle room, but again, we have the opportunity to make adjustments within our internal budget. So whether it's making some adjustments in the type of programming that we offer or the number of events so that we can focus on quality, those are things that we might be looking at in the next fiscal year. And so I believe with that concludes my report. If there's any other questions or feedback, we're happy to take it.
I just want to, for the workshops, is that 4 p.m. at City Hall?
Yes, the workshops typically are at 4 p.m.
Thank you.
In projecting the budget, we're adding more and more parks and finishing CIPs. Is there money in there to anticipate the maintenance of these things? Obviously, it costs more when you have more.
Yeah, we are looking at the future cost and maintenance of like the Quail Valley Park and Sun City, because those two parks will be a general fund maintained park. So meaning that we're going to have we're going to have to make adjustments within our current maintenance program to be able to bring those into our park system. So we are looking ahead at that, and so that we can plan accordingly. But as far as some of the other, like the newer development parks like Cimarron Ridge and Valor Park, those are two parks that are coming in under a community facilities district. So they are CFD funded, and their maintenance will be funded through the tax assessments associated with those special districts.
So we're good.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, do we have anything else? Okay, Madam Clerk, do we have any requests to speak on this matter?
We do not, and once again, this is the Commission's opportunity to discuss and provide feedback.
Thank you. Do we have anything to discuss, Commission? Any feedback?
We need to tap the general fund.
Yeah. Seems a little more complicated than...
Well, as the money comes in, the council needs to recognize that it needs to be applied here. And it's nice to have the accounting department say, okay, you're flatlined, but realistically, it doesn't allow for growth or development of a lot of projects.
So we do need to go and poke our
We need to
council
talk to our
members.
council.
Yeah. It all boils back down to the council.
Yep. Just a thought.
Do we have anything else? Commissioner Tremblay? No? Okay. That will conclude our item 9.3. Moving on to item 9.4. Community Services Director Mariana Mitchell, would you mind presenting the item for us?
So I'm going to recommend that we continue this item to the next meeting, simply because not all of our commission is present. And so we'll be appointing to committees. It might be better to give those not here the opportunity to participate.
That sounds like a plan.
Can we please get a motion and second for that?
I'll move to approve that.
Motion.
Second.
Okay. And here we are. Let's see. Community Services Director. Do you have any updates or comments?
Yeah. I don't know what happened to the slide. It's like picture in picture. But I did for this, that my comments were simply that, just to remind you of the upcoming workshops for CIP that are going to be taking place at City Council, to make sure that you had those dates on your calendar. We can also work with you to get those notices emailed out to you, so we can place them on your calendar as well. But our upcoming events, I know that sometimes we don't always get the opportunity now with the recreation update being a constant calendar item to publicly share the information about upcoming events. But we do want to invite you all to come join us on Saturday on March 14th at Central Park. That'll be one of our first events held back out there now that the Civic Plaza is complete, as well as the parking lot. And still, again, wanting to anticipate some additional events coming to Central Park. But it's going to be a fun day full of wildlife, talking about conservation stewardship, and lots of fun stuff with the park rangers. Yeah. And then after that, we do have a couple other events, our youth fair at Lazy Creek on the 21st, and then our Welcome Home Vietnam Veterans on March 26th at 10 a.m. at Paloma Valley High School. It is at the high school campus again, because again, we're trying to ensure that the younger generation has a learning opportunity to participate in this and learn about history while also welcoming home Vietnam veterans who didn't receive the appropriate welcome when they first came home. And last but not least, we have our Spring Fest event, which is coming up on March 28th, and it will be at 9 a.m. at Centennial Park. That is one of our very popular events. I know it says egg hunt, however, it's more like a mad dash for the closest egg. But we encourage you guys to come on out and join us, and for lots of family-friendly entertainment. And that concludes my comments for tonight.
Commission, do we have any questions?
I was wondering, is there a reason why it's not rotated between the other schools throughout the city of Menifee for the veterans?
Currently, we have a strong relationship with the NJROTC program at Paloma Valley High School, and they do a really great job at helping us honor veterans as they walk in, and just the way that the school site is set up, and the staff, we've kind of built a relationship. So, but I'll defer to Gabby if she has anything else to add to that.
Yes, so in addition to NJRTC, we also work with the band and the choir, ASB, and then we also work with their ASL club as well, to really, bring this event together and add all the additional components and involve the student body.
Does Heritage High School have all of the same groups or teams there?
I believe NJRTC is only located at Paloma Valley High School.
So I was just thinking to spread it out throughout the city, but then I know Paloma can be problematic with all of the construction going on there as well. So I was just curious. Thank you.
Anything else from the commission? I'd like to say your description of a mad dash for the eggs is quite accurate. So, and yes, that event is a ton of fun, and people are already talking about it. So, okay. Moving on to item 11, Commissioner reports on committee activities. Does the commission have anything to report on committee activities?
I do. I had the opportunity to attend one of the CPR first aid classes through the city, which was really interesting and very informative. I think it's an amazing resource that we have within our city because it's completely free. And I've done CPR classes before, but I feel like the fire department did an amazing job at explaining a lot of other aspects that you would never think about that people experience, whether it be like diabetes and blood sugar and getting bit by a snake, like the things that you would experience living in Southern California. And then even something as simple as like an inhaler, and not all inhalers are made the same. So it was super informative. I was super excited that we have that resource locally, and I was able to take advantage of it, and hopefully more people will take advantage of it because it was completely free. You get certified, and other cities offer it, but you have to pay. It can be anywhere up to $60. Aside from that, I had the opportunity to sit as a voter for the Teen Awards. So that was really exciting, going through all of the candidates. It did get a little delayed, I believe, this time around because they were waiting for more candidates to come in. But overall, I'm always super impressed. I do like that this time they are doing this rollover method where if you didn't get picked from the previous cycle, they are rolling over those students or teens into the following ones so they can still be considered, so that nomination doesn't go to waste. But no, it's always very insightful. I love having the opportunity to do it and seeing what our teens in the community are doing athletically, academically, and just showing up as a steward of society, really, and supporting our community as volunteers. So it's been great. Yeah.
Thank you, Commissioner Tremblay. Nothing? I guess for me, I got to meet with our Economic Development Department and learned a lot about some of the constraints and some of the capabilities that we have in developing our local economy here, and that was very informative. But beyond that, I'd meant to get to the Ready, Set, Future event, but was unable to make it. And with that, I guess moving on to item 12, future agenda requests from planning commissioner, or for planning commissioners, from parks commissioners. Would the commission like to request any future agenda items?
I'm not sure if it's because I missed the last meeting, but I would like more information on the process of annexing the parks. I know we kind of went over it when we were with City Council. I'm not sure if it's possible to just kind of do a little review of now that decisions were made, what that actually looks like.
Yeah, so we're currently still in the process of kind of developing what that timeline is going to look like, which is why when Corey had mentioned that we have the request for proposals open for a consultant to help us with the LAFCO application process. What we can do is put it on the future agenda item so it doesn't get lost, to provide an update on our status, on where we're at, once we have enough forward momentum to bring back an item for consideration. So we really don't have anything to present at this time, but we're looking at, once we hire that consultant, well, to have a better idea of the timeline for the application process itself. And then moving forward, again, it's very slow going, but if you'd like for us to review, we'd be happy to sit down with you individually to kind of talk through that as well.
Oh, beautiful, because I feel like I left that meeting like with the understanding that there needed to be more conversation with Valleywide, and then yeah, I didn't know what the plan was after that. So
Yeah, so City Council, so after the joint workshop, so I'm trying to I don't want to get too far beyond because it's not an agendized topic. So maybe we can
yeah, if we can just add it, and then we can probably
revisit it.
Yeah,
Yes,
of
we can
course.
give an update. We can add it as a, well, you'll have to get a motion in a second.
Oh,
I'll move.
Second.
perfect. Thank you.
Quick question. Does the consultant come out of our budget?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, do we have any other requests from our commission? All right, hearing none, I would like to adjourn this meeting at 7:13 p.m. Thank you very much.